Can y'all hear me well? Yes, no, maybe so. Let me get some comments in. CPT time, hysterical. Well, I guess I'll start. So this is Dr. Johnson's. Okay, y'all gotta be driving with me, by the way, so y'all gotta hear road noise, and I might curse up a storm and all that other stuff. And this is kind of Mr. Z, kind of unchained. This is my first time doing this, so excuse the rough edges of this. Okay, all right. So yeah, so I watched Dr. Johnson's most recent upload, and yeah, so of course they think they're morally superior to us. Is anybody shocked by this? Duh. Like, by the way, for the comments, you go ahead and post your comments, like, share, subscribe, hit that super chat. Yeah, but I'm not gonna be able to watch them for the next like 25-ish minutes because I am driving to work right now. I just wanted to get this out. Yeah, so I watched Dr. Johnson's most recent video, and of course, right? So they reserve the right, women reserve the right, black women reserve the right to essentially say that they're morally superior to us no matter what. So the young lady, I don't know if she was claiming to be some type of counselor or therapist, but she got on to essentially sun black men and say we don't know how to express ourselves. And as Dr. Johnson said, or was saying, that's express ourselves in a very female, black woman centric way, right? We have to essentially she was saying like we have to express ourselves in a way they deem fit, as if they're the moral arbiters of like how you're supposed to speak. Wait a minute. When did black women get so good at expressing themselves? Right? Am I the only one? Like, when did black women become the paragons of like expression? Right? So this young lady, first of all, she's cursing up a storm. I'm about to curse up a storm. But not only that, she assumes some type of like high ground when it comes to expression of your emotions, right? And that's the frustrating part. It's black women are like these, you know, they express themselves better than everyone else. They know how to use their words, not right. For those of us, you know, with black moms and black oh wow. Are we still going? Is everybody still in here? I don't know if I pressed the wrong button. Oh, there we go. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, but yeah, ever since when did black women become like the best at expressing themselves, right? They're not. And we see it. I mean, we see women after women, both in real life and in person, fighting each other in the Walmarts, cursing each other out, slapping each other down, cursing out men, cursing out their kids, right? So black women are like all these, like, when did they become all this moral high ground, right? When did they become the best at expressing themselves, right? And underlying what she was saying was trauma, right? Black men don't know how to express themselves. They deal with a lot of trauma. They're human beings. And I agree with her on that. Black men are human beings. But where are black men getting all this trauma from? Right? Anybody want to talk about that? Where are black men getting all this trauma from? Is it only from other black men? Right? Are black men not getting any trauma or receiving any trauma from black women? No, not at all. Right? So underlying what she was saying was the assumption that black men are being traumatized through their experiences, their intimate experiences, their personal experiences. And I would assume much of those experiences are with women, namely, and excuse my background, namely black women, right? So, I mean, she didn't say it, but we all know it, right? And that's what I find frustrating. I being in these kind of conversations between black men and black women over the past few years, like I said earlier, black women always reserve the right to try to sun black men. They try to sun black men in private. They try to sun black men in public. They try to sun black men in front of their children. They try to sun black men in front of white people. They try to sun black men on camera, on TV, on news, and paper, and print media. They always try to sun black men. And that's all that young lady was doing, was trying to sun black men. Once again, another black woman telling black men, you're not showing up in the ways we want you to show up, or we need you to show up. And therefore, regardless of investigating us and our shortcomings, we're the bar and you must meet it. Right? And of course that's not working. I mean, talk to your local 25-year-old and younger black man and see how much he cares about what young black women are saying. Regardless of his parent, if his parents are together, his black parents are together or not. Regardless of all his great experiences or lack thereof with black women, right? So like this is gonna be a real issue for black women. It's already a real issue for black women, but it's gonna get worse. Because this assumption that you're superior to everyone else when it comes to like expressing yourselves and emoting the correct way. I mean, isn't that half the reason why we're in this space? Is because we're around a bunch of black women that don't know how to emote or overly emote, right? Like Dr. Hasan was saying, they download everything on you, right? Isn't that like much of why we're here in these spaces? Both for those of us that are married to black women, for those of us in long-term committed relationships with black women, for those of us in intimate relationships with black women, for those of us with our mothers and our women siblings, right? And relatives, girl cousins and whatnot. I mean, once again, when did black women become so good at emoting and expressing themselves? And I'm gonna have to speak up a little bit louder. I'm on the expressway right now. But yeah, like, when did this happen? Once again, like, share, subscribe, hit that super chat. My Cashapp is somewhere in a description somewhere on one of my videos if you want to send me something. But yeah, so of course I have an issue with that. And watching Dr. Johnson's video, it kind of swelled up, talking about emotions, it swelled up those emotions in me. And the young lady, there's always a mixture of truth in these conversations. So the young lady was right. Black men are human beings. We are human beings. And some of us could do better at expressing ourselves. But what is the better? Defined by who? You see how this gets real tricky real quick? Better by whose definition? By black women's definition? Right? Who died and made them the moral arbiters of emotion and how to express yourself? Because they're doing a swell job at it, aren't they? And this is like, a bit of this is me joking and poking fun at them, but like, this is, in a serious note, like, this is gonna hurt black women way more than it actually hurts black men in the long run. Because you can only tell yourself you're better than your male counterparts only so much before that bites you in the ass when your male counterparts don't actually agree with you. Now what? Not a majority anyway. What happens when you continue to tell yourself you're better than your male counterparts and the majority of your male counterparts don't agree with you? Now what? Right? That's a major issue. And listening to this young lady speak in her condescending ass tone, right? Attempting to sun black men, right? And like, even Mr. Z would be more apt to agree if there weren't video after video of black women like cursing up a storm, which is an example oftentimes that you don't actually know how to express yourself when you have to use profanity like every other word, which the young lady was doing. So she was contradicting herself in her attempt to sun black men. Go figure, right? Number one. Number two, and we have video after video of men across the board that interact with black women, and that includes non-black men, right? If you were the top dogs of expression, where did that negative stereotype come from? Right? I thought y'all was supposed to be like these superior people at expressing yourself and emoting, right? And using all of your words, right? 4 and 5 syllable words, being polysyllabic and verbose. You see that right there? Like this is a real big issue in the black community. Once again, black women assuming some type of superiority to their male counterparts, and in their attempt at expressing that superiority, they make themselves look dumb. Because really what it is a braggadocious expression of ego. That's what it really is. That's what she expressed. It's just black women are superior to you. You need to bow to us, right? Sense of how you should express yourself correctly without ever investigating what the hell we're saying. Just do what we say, right? And once again, loud ass 95 in South Florida. I'm sorry for the road noise. It's gonna end in like maybe another 2 or 3 minutes. But yeah, right. So like, you know, I can't catch all the comments right now. When I get to the red light, I will try to scroll back and see what you guys are saying. But yeah, so like, this is what we're dealing with. And no, I am not driving the Z right now. By the way, side note, thank you for all the well wishes. Yeah, I just picked it up. That's my third 300ZX, my second 300ZX twin turbo. But now I'm in a better place financially, and I'm more mature, and I'm not gonna try to drive it as an everyday car. It's a 91, like I said. You know, so, you know, thank you guys for all the well wishes and whatnot. But yeah, so back to the topic at hand. I know many of us have people like this as relatives, right? They're so hopped up on their own sense of accomplishment. They lack any self-awareness, and you could tell they lack any self-awareness because while they're trying to sun you, they're actually contradicting themselves. Once again, if you really are this, you know, paragon of expression, then why are you using profanity left, right, and center while you're trying to sun black men? Because apparently we don't know how to express ourselves really well. That's what you said, right? Per your own words, right? So I know many of us have these particular people as family members. We've dated women like this. You know, we've worked with women like this, and it's very difficult, or at least it was. It's becoming less difficult because we're developing a language to describe women like this. But at one point it was very difficult to kind of talk about women like this without sounding like some type of sexist, or without being called or deemed some type of sexist, misogynist monster, right? But it's becoming more and more difficult to paint men, black men specifically, with that brush. Because women like this are speaking like this, right? Goddamn, Escalade made the most illegal U-turn ever. Oh, no, that's a GMC Yukon, my bad. But yeah, these are the super illegal U-turn blocking up traffic. Anyway, but yeah, so interacting with women like this was very dangerous at one point, and it still is to a certain extent. But as Mr. Z has expressed multiple times, it's becoming more and more difficult for them to keep up the BS, right? Because they're so blatant with their disdain. They don't even know how to play coy. At least our mothers and grandmothers knew how to play coy. To a certain extent, they knew how to play damsel in distress, at least in relation to black men in front of non-black people. These newfangled black women, they've been inhaling and smoking their own farts. So they really don't know how to play like damsel in distress and coy anymore. Or they really suck at it. Either way, they're so hopped up on their own ego pills, right? That this is they call like, right? And having a dialogue. That's what they call having a dialogue. Condescending to you, attempting to sun you and tell you that for you to do better for yourself, as she was trying to say, for you to do better for yourself and to show up better for black women, you need to learn how to express yourself in a way that black women deem fit without ever investigating what that way is, number one. And number two, like I was saying before, she's going to continue to sun you, right, in this way. And this is supposed, according to her, supposed to be some type of professional. Going over train tracks, listen. Okay, right? But yeah, she's supposed to be some type of professional. Where? Jesus Christ, if I remember correctly, right? I was reading through a comment for one of these swirler divestors. This was a few months ago. And she said she had a black female therapist, and she was describing how, you know, luckily for her, when she comes home, her husband take care of all the chores, and her husband rubs her feet and blah, blah, blah. And the black woman that's her therapist was like, oh, I know he ain't a black man. And she's like, oh, you know he ain't, right? And shows this is the comment that she had in the comment section. And I'm like, this sounds like one of those type of therapists, right? Speaking like this about black men to her patron, to whoever she's advising or counseling, right? Like, this is, look at how they operate. You're supposedly, maybe I heard wrong. It's possible I heard wrong, but she did say she was, what, advising or counseling black men, right? Or different black people, if I'm not mistaken. And you sound like this. Once again, commercial break. Like, share, subscribe, hit that super chat. But yeah, you sound like this. You're supposed to be a professional. So this speaks to what many black professional men are saying. They're working in these environments with hostiles, with racist ass white people, with racist ass non-black people, and then you have black women in that same environment that think of you and sound like this. No allies, right? You might have one or two black male allies in that space, and even the other black men are so scared that they say nothing, or they're so identified with this kind of trope of black women being always correct compared to black men that you can't even see them as an ally because they're not, right? That's really sad, right? And excuse my background, I know the light is all shimmering, you know, yeah. So like, what do you even say to this, right? What do you, what I'm giggling, that's what I do, but I really don't know how you interact with people like this, especially professionals. Like, you're supposedly a professional and you sound like this about black men, right? In your professional capacity. Supposedly a therapist, so you say, or a counselor or something along those lines, right? And you sound like this. And you're attempting to tell black men to express themselves in a particular way, and you're doing a swell, not so swell job of expressing yourself, right? And excuse my background once again. Yeah, right. So I don't. What do you even say to these people, right? I'm trying to scroll through some of you guys' comments and whatnot. You know, yeah, this is my first time just doing a random stream while I'm driving, and yeah, sorry for the road noise earlier. Shout out to all of you guys that's in here. Yeah, wow. You know, I have some real fear for black men that's out here in the dating scene having to interact with women like this. Because many of us like educated women, right? We like being around smart women. We really like being around intelligent women. But with that comes this, right? And then these women swear we're intimidated by their degree. We're not intimidated by your degree. We don't want to be around that attitude, that demeanor, right? Contrary to popular belief, black men, especially being raised by single mothers, right? being raised in some type of matriarchy or gynocracy, at best egalitarian situation, if our parents were still together, right? Being raised in that environment, we're not intimidated by educated women. We're not even intimidated by sassy black women. That doesn't do anything for us. We expect it, actually. Actually, what's annoying is this demeanor, the sense of entitlement, right? The over extra sass, being condescending, walking around here like you don't have any bravado and ego, while all you do is express your bravado and ego, right? That is what black men have a problem with, right? Talking about we're intimidated by your education. Who? Right? We've had multiple brothers in this space, including Charles, Mr. Z, right? BGS, a bunch of people without college degrees that have had very robust conversations with educated black women. And let's just say we're not the ones that came up on the losing side, right? We've never been intimidated. As a majority, black men have never been intimidated by black women's education. Somebody got to get the white man's degree. And I'm saying that as a person that actually wants to go back to school, right? So this is not about intimidation. What it is about is that attitude, right? And look at that. Shout out to whoever's in a relationship with her. White, black, Asian, Latino, or otherwise. Shout out to you. Oh boy. I could imagine you guys' arguments. Jeez. So, and this is the thing. The education isn't a problem. The fact that you try to badger black men over the head with your education while being condescending and attempting to sun them with all this bravado and ego, right? All this confrontational energy. Is that what you got your education for? That was the purpose? First, to throw it in black men's face. Secondly, to use it as a way to condescend. That's what this was for? So you went to school for 4, 6, 8 years after high school to do that? Wow. I don't know. It's a $60, $80, $100, $120,000 in student loan debt for that? Maybe on the low end, maybe you're only $40,000 in student loan debt. I doubt it though. Right? All of that for that? And if you're not in a relationship, you paying that by yourself. Ooh. Maybe you got a scholarship. I don't know. Right? Maybe you got some grants and some loans. You know. Because Uncle Sam and white feminists are gladly willing to pay you to go to school so you can get your education so you could do exactly what you just did. Wow. So I'm about to close out. Like, share, subscribe, hit that super chat. Check out my other videos. But yeah, this was, oh yeah, Sunday morning, 10-ish. I'm planning, unless said otherwise, I am planning to do a live. We're probably going to be talking about class in post Carter, in the post Carter world, right? So like late 70s, early 80s on up, class and depictions of class in media and how that's affected how black people see relationship and dating and marriage, and how we're kind of behind the 8 ball when we speak about these things, and how old-timey wisdom isn't actually helping us in these respects, because many of our parents and grandparents were born in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, And they were the ones who raised the 70s, and they were the ones who raised us. For some of the Gen Z in here, maybe your parents were born in the super early 80s. Nah, it doesn't make any sense. But maybe the mid 70s. And so, yeah, all that old timey wisdom doesn't necessarily apply anymore. So that's something I'm working on. If not Sunday, we might try to do something Monday, but I'm definitely trying to get that in by Sunday morning. So I'm going to close out. Thank you guys for listening to Mr. Z ramble on. Shout out to Dr. T. Hasan Johnson and all the black men of the Black Manosphere who are listening. And I'll close out. I'll pause right there. I got to do that for you guys. All right. See you guys later.